Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. There's a lot of Guilds of Ravnica standard hubbub going on right now, which means it's the perfect time to talk about Commander and cards you need to get right now. Everyone is focused on the new constructed playables. If you're a Commander player playing on a budget, this video is for you. The top 10 best Commander cards in Standard to buy right now. I'll show you the prices of everything we talk about, and if you want any of them, click the first link in the description. Can't get them any cheaper than that. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, remember hit that like button. It helps out a lot. Like button. The list begins at number 10 with the only uncommon here, Playcrafter, a new addition from Guilds of Ravnica. Not much attention is being paid to this little guy right now, but that's going to change real quick. Playcrafter is going to be a staple in Commander for the rest of time. You know, Fleshbag Marauder, right? In a ton of black sacrifice decks, anything that works with graveyards, from Marin and Carador, all the way to the Scarab God and Muldrotha, Fleshbag Marauder is there. It's always there. Playcrafter, almost a strict upgrade in every single deck that isn't a zombie tribal one. Same mana cost, one more toughness, and when it enters the battlefield, it can nuke a Planeswalker, and if an opponent has nothing to sacrifice to it, they have to discard a card. That's amazing. It's an incredible amount of upside for a single card. In a multiplayer game of Commander, this is devastating when dropped at the exact right time. Better than the Marauder more often than not, this card is barely above 25 cents, and foils are around $5. Keep an eye on both. Grab them now, it's never going down. This card is great. Coming in at number 9 is Thaumatic Compass, transforming into Spires of Orazca. On the front, this ability is relevant to any combination of colors. Being able to search for basic lands using generic mana turn after turn guarantees color fixing. In a format where having your colors matters a lot, this is huge for 2 mana to cast and 3 to activate when you have mana to spare. When you transform it, oh man, does it take a totally different direction. Spires of Orazca is nasty, with a Maze of Ith-like ability. Essentially, you get to prison the strongest creature on the battlefield, which could mean protecting an ally you just made or protecting yourself. Think of the politics. Oh hey, don't attack me with that giant creature. If you do, I will Spires it. This card has tons of value in every deck, so again, universal appeal, and Commander players know it. This goes in so much, from tribal decks like Admiral Beckett Brass to prison strategies like Queen Marchesa to Group Hug and Kaneos and Tyro, even land matter strategies like Omnath Locus of Rage. You get my point. This card has near universal power, which leads me to my main point. It's $2.50 right now, and most of that cost is due to Commander. This will not go down after it rotates. It will be in Commander forever. Do not miss your chance to grab it before it starts ticking up, because it will. Great card, worth investing in, especially in foil. Foils are around $6. Bargain to me, considering it's double-sided, just saying. Number 8 is Blackblade Reforged. This is a card a ton of players are forgetting about, but one that's getting played more and more since Dominaria released. This is another example of a card that can fit into a myriad of strategies, and because of that is already included in thousands of Commander decks across the internet. Pretty good for being printed recently. Being able to equip cheaply onto a legendary creature and have the buff dependent on the number of lands you control makes it relevant almost everywhere. I've seen this in Kemba and Balan for equipment synergy, Ural, Rafik, and Kron for Voltron shenanigans, and Omnath, Titania, and the Gitrog monster for land synergy decks. Look, Blackblade Reforged might not be the flashiest card out there, but the sword is 80 cents right now. 80 cents. If you think you might ever want to equip this to anything ever in the world ever, just buy it now. There's no reason not to. This is the bottom out price for this card. As we move on to number 7, we're talking about a card I think is criminally flying under the radar, which is so ironic I could choke on the irony in this room. I'm currently drowning in irony right now. Anyways, number 7 is Detection Tower. Card's a Commander bomb. Obviously, the comparison we have to make is to Arcane Lighthouse. So let's do that. Both are land cards that tap for mana, and both cost 1 mana and tapping to activate their key ability. Arcane Lighthouse hits Lightning Greaves and Detection Tower doesn't, that's true. But Detection Tower hits players and the Lighthouse doesn't. You want to know another difference, another big difference? Arcane Lighthouse is $2.50 and Detection Tower is 49 cents. 49 cents for a rare. Instead of comparing it to Arcane Lighthouse, that is 5 times the cost, let me tell you some cards this is gross against. Swiftfoot Boots, Heroic Intervention, Asceticism, Shalai, and Privileged Position. For such a small investment, you can get a card that messes with Swiftfoot Boots and Heroic Intervention. 49 cents, bottom price for this. Pick them up now if you need them. It'll never get cheaper ever. It's 49 cents. Coming in at number 6, and one of my favorite cards on this list is Cabal Stronghold. I'm still baffled. This thing is 70 cents. I'm almost speechless, but I'm not speechless because if I were, the video would be really awkward. Anyways, Cabal Stronghold costs 1 more mana to do the same thing Cabal Coffers does, and the Coffers is $30. Yes, I understand scarcity plays a role, but come on, the Stronghold is immensely powerful in Commander, and the only reason it hasn't started going up already is because people opened a bunch of Dominaria and copies are just sitting around. Well, let them sit in your binder, in your decks. The likes of Marin, Tasigur, Erebos, and the Scarab God all run this card. Play Cabal Stronghold, buy all the copies you could ever want right now. People always talk about good investments in Magic, which is hilarious, but they do. So if you want a good investment, Cabal Stronghold, the best 70-cent Commander card I've seen printed in a while. This card is overpowered for that cost. Buy it. The first card breaking into our top 5 is the Immortal Sun. This is unlike any of the other cards on this list for 2 reasons. First, it's a mythic rare. Second, it isn't what most would consider cheap. The Immortal Sun is around $10 right now on TCG Player, and believe it or not, that's the cheapest it's ever going to get. The Sun doesn't see any meaningful constructed play, none whatsoever, which means that entire $10 price tag comes from Commander play and potential power, both of which do not work in the budget player's favor. This is how I see the future playing out. Immortal Sun stays around this price for another few months, then starts creeping up as less Rivals of Ixalan packs are opened until eventually spiking into high heaven a few years from now, because why would anyone ever open a Rivals pack again? Small set, mythic rare, eternal playability in Commander in almost any deck you can think of that has creatures, more cards, cheaper spells, no color commitment. This is the holy grail of spiked Commander staples, and because of that, it will never be cheaper than right now. I'm sorry, but if you don't spend $10 on this right now when no one's looking, you'll have to spend more later when people are. Don't say I didn't warn you. I'm sorry. Number 4 is Journey to Eternity. I wanted to talk about this card months ago, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't. Players are finally starting to see this card for what it truly is, a Commander monster. For 3 mana, you ensure the resurrection of any of your creatures on death, and you get the enchantment back, transformed into Adzal Cave of Eternity, which is straight broken. Not only is it a ramp and mana-fixing god, but the thing comes with recursion built in. 5 mana, bring something back. 5 mana, bring something back. Each and every time you untap, you threaten to recur your biggest threats. The amount of value Adzal can accrue throughout one game is outrageous. That's why it's already digging its way into Commander. We're talking Marin, Mimeoplasm, Muldrotha, Carador. This is a card to look out for, and at only $2.50, I think you're getting a heck of a bargain. The sleeping has stopped on this, so grab your copies as soon as you can. We made it to the top 3. These are the real cream of the crop. If you're going to buy any of the cards I talk about in this video, please make them these 3. Number 3 is Beast Whisperer, a new card out of Guilds of Ravnica. I am jaw-droppingly stunned that this hasn't gotten more attention yet. This is a creature version of Glimpse of Nature, but static, and far cheaper than Zendikar Resurgent. Beast Whisperer is an amazing middle ground for this type of ability, and an elf to boot, one of the most relevant creature types in all of Magic. If you play a creature-based deck in Commander, and you produce green mana, you will want Beast Whisperer most of the time. I'm sure there are cases where he won't be useful, but in the majority of decks, he's a good card. Animar players, Azuri Renegade Leader, there are plenty of options for Beast Whisperer, and while I don't think he's going to climb to $20 immediately after release, I can say with confidence that his current price tag of $1 is really dumb. There's a reason foil versions are $7 each. There's a reason for that, and it's that the card has potential power and will be in Commander for a really long time. Number 2 is Helm of the Host. A lot of you had to know this was going to be on this list somewhere near the top. Arguably one of the best equipment printed in the last few years for Commander. Helm of the Host is already making waves in the format. Being able to copy a legendary creature is absurd in a format designed around legendary creatures. Not only do you get to circumvent the legend rule, but the token also gets haste so you can use it right away, and not only that, but it doesn't leave the battlefield at the end of the turn, or the end of combat, or any time ever, it just stays there. You have to realize just how busted that makes Helm of the Host. It is expensive to equip, but for good reason. This is all over Commander, Kali of the Vast, Aurelia the War Leader, Muldrotha, Narset, Enlightened Master. Helm of the Host is the definition of an eternal staple in Commander. There will never be a time when the Helm is useless in this format ever. As long as Magic lives, Helm of the Host will be useful. Oh, right, and it's also $2. $2. So yeah, just enjoy. You've made it all the way here. Number 1, the absolute best Commander card in Standard you have to buy right now. Any guesses? Let's see how you did. Number 1 is Vanquishers Banner. This artifact is indescribably good. It's a tribal dream, pumping up all relevant creatures, but most importantly, it draws cards on creature cast. That's amazing. A lot of tribal decks have issues with running out of gas, especially after a board wipe. With the banner, rebuilding is going to be a piece of cake. Drawing a card on cast means that drawing into multiple on-type creatures won't be difficult. I truly believe this is the ultimate sleeper in Standard right now for Commander. You can get them for around $3 right now on TCG Player and only $7 for foils. This is the bargain of the century. The price will never be lower than this. If you play any type of tribal deck at all whatsoever, or have any interest in building any tribal deck ever in the future, you should get this card now and just sit on it. This belongs with Door of Destinies, Coat of Arms, Herald's Horn, and Metallic Mimic, all more expensive than the banner is right now. Please get this card if you need it. Price is so good at this very moment. I really hope this video helps you out. I want to make sure that you all get the cards you need to play the best format out there. Whether you need these right now, or might need them in the future, or even want to just hold on to them and wait for them to spike, whatever. This is the Mana Source community. I want you to have whatever you want. So if you need any of these cards, you should really pull the trigger. Get your copies. You can see everything I talked about by clicking the first link in the description. And it helps out the channel too. So, just give it a click. And if you want to buy anything, TCG Player is the cheapest place to do that, always. And finally, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.